my friends. It's Andy coming live from Orange County, California with my bride.
Hello.
Hedia Maramati Falco.
So that's a mouthful.
We're going to get rid of that Maramati.
Yes.
I like it. But I almost hate to because I kind of like it.
Really?
I like the Maramati. It's like a party in my mouth.
That's sweet.
All right. So, yes, we are coming to you at 3:18 p.m. Orange County Pacific Standard Time. And that's because we had a busy morning.
We did.
We had kids to get to school. We had one kid who's in a play today who was so, I'm going to call her after this, as a matter of fact. Yes. So worried about her outfit and all kinds of stuff going on with that. And then I went and got an MRI for my prostate. We'll be doing an update on the prostate show. You guys love the prostate show. We'll be doing that. And what I want to do is I want to interview you about learning about my prostate cancer. And what you did after that, how you found Dr. What's his name?
Pugash.
I can never remember his name. I would like to do a little bit of that.
Sure.
You okay for that? We can do that tomorrow?
Anytime.
You think? All right, we'll do that. But that's what we had. And then we had another couple meetings after that. So we apologize. I share with you because I think that there's a little bit of part of this is our little bit of journey that people, I think, sometimes like to be a part of and kind of get an idea for us and who we are and how it is we come up with the things that we come up with and what God shares with us. And so I think it just helps kind of round everything out.
Yeah, lays the backdrop.
Yes. I know you're so in love with me that you're ignoring your mic.
Yes.
So I got to help you with that. All right. All right. So we're reading from My Utmost for His Highest by Oswald Chambers. And we're going to jump right into it. I didn't share the screen here. Hold on one second. And we are on, what is today? March 8th. And if you want to follow along on the website, you just go to utmost.org. And you will be able to follow along if you have a computer nearby. If not, you can do it later. And also, you could purchase the book, which I would recommend only because I always want to support Oswald and the work that he did. He's not alive anymore, by the way, but the organization that runs the program now is obviously amazing. So we want to make sure and share that. All right. So now I got everything set up. That was my way of stretching things out. All right. So here we go. This is from the website. This is a great picture. I mean, it's a great. What he's doing is great. The symbolism is amazing. And so again, like I said, we're on March 9th. Oh, I said 8th, I think earlier. Why am I on the wrong one?
No. Oh.
What the heck's going on here?
How did that happen?
I don't know. You know what? We're going to have to fix this. We're on Monday. I don't know. Yeah. Oh, well.
No, we did March 9th.
Yeah.
How's that possible?
I don't know.
The current day.
I don't know why I did that.
Okay. So what do you want to do? You want to spontaneously do this one, or are we going to do the one we studied for?
This is a dilemma. Hold on. Let me think about this.
Hurry up. We don't want to lose our audience.
We better stick with the 8th. We better do the 8th. We're going to do this on the fly. We're going to read this for the very first time.
Do it on the fly because we read March 9th.
Yeah. And when you hear me fumbling through a reading, it's after I've done it 2 or 3 times. So let's do this. I'm going to have to change the title on the podcast too. So don't forget me to do that. Unfortunately, the title is not correct for today's thing. We have no idea how that happens. When you go to the website, it gives you the date. And I've gotten so, I don't know, used to just that happening that I didn't even bother to look at that it did the right thing. But on 2 different computers, it went to that one. Went to the 9th. I don't know why. All right. The Surrendered Life. That's what this one's called, not the title that you see above, the Surrendered Life. The reference is Galatians 2:20. I have been crucified with Christ. To become one with Jesus Christ, a person must be willing not only to give up sin, but also to surrender his whole way of looking at things. Being born again by the Spirit of God means that we must first be willing to let go before we can grasp something else. The first thing we must surrender is all of our pretense or deceit. What our Lord wants us to present to him is not our goodness, honesty, or efforts to do better, but real solid sin. Actually, that is all he can take from us. And what he gives us in exchange for our sin is real solid righteousness. But we must surrender all pretense that we are anything and give up all the claims of even being worthy of God's consideration. Once we have done that, the Spirit of God will show us that we need to surrender what we need to surrender next. Along each step of this process, we will have to give up our claims to our rights to ourselves. Are we willing to surrender our grasp on all that we possess, our desires, and everything else in our lives? Are we ready to be identified with the death of Jesus Christ? Will we suffer a sharp, painful we will. Sorry, Missy, I need help sometimes. We will suffer a sharp, painful disillusionment before we fully surrender. When people really see themselves as the Lord sees them, it is not the terribly offensive sins of the flesh that shock them, but the awful nature of the pride of their own hearts opposing Jesus Christ. When they see themselves in the light of the Lord, the shame, horror, and desperate conviction hit home for them. If you are faced with the question of whether or not to surrender, make a determination to go on through the crisis, surrendering all that you have and all that you are to him, and God will then equip you to do all that he requires of you. Oh my gosh. This is going to go even deeper than tomorrow's. Wow, there's so much to say, and I gotta kind of gather my thoughts here. Help me gather my thoughts. There's a few things that I could talk about in regard to myself, because there is so much that when I really began to follow Jesus Christ and God during this whole process, that I really began to see who I was.
It's the worst part. It's the worst part. I was describing to Andy yesterday that I started crying last night before I slept, because I literally have these out-of-body experiences, one of which I had last night, where my old self encounters my new self and starts to fight with it. Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing these things? And my new self is like, you go away, you. And I like literally have this conflict of the people inside of me. And it's very depressing, because I hate the old person and I hate everything that it usually tries to inflict on me. And sometimes it gets the better of me because it gets control of my thoughts. And so that's the point of surrender, where I just lay it at the feet of Jesus. He's like, leave me your burdens, carry mine. My burden is easy and my yoke is light. But whatever you're going to put on yourself by yourself is going to be painful. And so it's just, it's that process that's extremely difficult sometimes. Sometimes it's easy. Sometimes, oh my God, there's so much joy and peace and happiness. I'm like, oh, this is so exciting. What a beautiful life. And then other times I'm just so overwhelmed by the change that I don't recognize the new person. I don't have all the tools, right? So at this point in our lives, especially at our age, we develop all these protection mechanisms, these tools in which we cope with difficulty and life's what it throws at us. And we can't use any of those anymore, because that's not a surrendered life. We have no more tools except him. And that's really difficult for me sometimes.
You know, you made me think of an analogy that actually is based on, I think, scientific fact. Some part of what I'm about to say.
Okay.
Not that I'm a scientist.
Lay it on us.
I just play one on television. And I'm gonna use myself first, and I'm gonna come to last night.
Okay.
Okay. I hope you don't mind.
Please. Take the long way around.
And I know that it happens still from time to time, but I remember there was a period of time where I've played sports. I've pole vaulted. I've done a lot of stuff, played football, trained dogs that would hit me at, 15, 20 miles an hour, at full speed. And I'd be running back at them full speed. And so I'm telling you that because I have a pretty strong, core, strong back, and I've done all that with very few injuries with my back or arms or anything like that. I'm a little achy, and that kind of stuff, but I don't really have a back issue. However, there was a period of time when my back was going out and painfully, I was in so much pain. I would walk to my truck hunched over like I was looking for something on the ground to my truck, and then drive to the chiropractor's office. And he would tell me all the time, he goes, dude, it's stress. Your back is injured from stress, and it's not from anything. Because it would get hurt lifting up a cardboard box.
Yeah,
it would get hurt by opening a door with very little weight, not like a heavy door, but just like a door for somebody. And at the time, I was dealing with a lot of stress. That was the time that I was losing my business, and a bunch of other stuff was happening. I was, having trouble with my marriage. I mean, you name it, it was going on. and that my back was killing me. Last night, what you're talking about, that the old self, and last night your back was killing you, and then you ended the night by crying. You shared with me this morning. I slept through it. That's the kind of man I am. I slept through the crying. As I was thinking about this, I was thinking, oh, your back. And I remembered your back was killing you. You took, some Advil. I was rubbing your back. We got a lacrosse ball and did everything we could to, get you all straightened up. And now the final coup de grace is the weight of our old self is enormous. And the strain of that old self that's always bad, that we're always think is okay to bring back once in a while, just like it's like we're carrying it like, no, I can't. Then God's going, get rid of it. If you get rid of it, you'll be in light and you will be light. Yes. It will lighten the load. Like you look at all that stuff, and here we are constantly trying to carry that old man and that old woman on our back, and we get strained, and it causes stress, and we're going, but hey, I kind of like. There was a period of time where some of that was okay. No. Like I want to kind of escape back there because I'm feeling uncomfortable now. And so I kind of want to go back to that old person that I was. Yes. I want to go and have a drink with my buddies because that was kind of fun. No?
Yeah.
No.
It wasn't. Right? It wasn't.
You know what I mean? I mean, there's times like, the kids are just like running around. My costume, everybody's going to look at me and my costume's not right. And I go, I want to go have a drink with my friends. And then the wait, and there's that old guy with a whiskey bottle on my shoulders going, oh, okay, wait a minute, maybe it's not better. Does that, I mean, that's kind of what I read in this with your analogy that yes. It's just so much that old person that we've carried around. And then the embarrassment, like when you look back, and I could look at posts back, I don't know, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, or there's one in particular that got me where it was a Halloween party we were having here on the streets with the neighbors and everything like that. And I got like 2 bottles of beer and my shirt's up and my belly's sticking out a little bit farther than my shirt. And I got this weird look on my face and I go, oh,
that's attractive.
That's seeing yourself. That's as Jesus sees me. That's seeing, like Jesus sees that every day and goes, I've been trying to show you. I've been trying to show you that guy.
Oh my God.
And there you are. Wow. I hope I didn't go too far. Hey, I see people watching. I know people are watching. Comment to let us know if you have any pictures of yourself or any images of yourself, whether it's in your mind or actual images that remind you that that old person is not what I want to see, nor am I proud that Jesus was watching that and seeing that that exposure to that person that Jesus gives you is the thing that keeps me going in the direction I'm in now.
That's beautiful.
Wow, that was a really long explanation.
No, it was beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah. Do you think your back pain is due to that? Sometimes what's happening around you and the stress of this new life that you're taking on? Sure. Yeah.
Sure. I did a little sweeping and
rearranging of the cupboards.
Yeah. Then I was out. That was it. I was out for the count. Yeah, absolutely. It's also, I'm sure it's stress related, but and it's funny that you said, I just want to go have a drink, because I must have heard that at least 40 times this past week and previous times. Like, and it's the enemy whispering, why are you wound up so tight? Why don't you just go drink? Just relax.
Yeah.
You're so tight. Just relax, and I'm just, and I hear that voice and I'm like, just stop, just stop it. Yeah, it's not an easy walk. It's not an easy walk.
And I'm just going to remind you of the paragraph or the sentence that reminded me of this. Is that he says here, when they see themselves in the light of the Lord, the shame, horror, and desperate conviction hit home for them.
Yes.
That is a good one. Thank you, Oswald.
Oh, thank you. Such good adjectives.
If you are faced with the question of whether or not to surrender, make a determination to go on through the crisis. Surrendering all that you have. Sorry, I didn't mean that. I forgot we were on camera. Surrounding all that you have and all that you are to him.
And this is what we're going to talk about in the next one. This is actually tomorrow about what that means. And this analogy that always comes to mind when I'm in the middle of something difficult, where it's just like climbing Mount Everest and you're in the middle. It's way too far to go back down. And you look up and you're like, I don't think I can make it. but you just hold on. You just hold on. And that's what walking with Jesus feels like sometimes, is you have the conviction that I am going to go through this no matter what. And he gives you the strength. You got to constantly look up and look to him to give you the strength, because in our own strength, we can't do it.
And I got to say, the moments that we have where we are actually, we are there, we are where God wants us. We are doing the things that we've been called to do. And when it involves the kids and some of the laughter and the times we have, the fun we have, whether it's at the playground or just here messing around, sword fighting with Rhett yesterday and some other stuff. I mean, those are fantastic. And you cannot buy those moments or pay for those moments there.
Right. Me and 7-Eleven and the Slurpee machine.
Oh yeah. What happened to this stuff?
Okay, since I'm new at this whole like Supermom business, we went to the 7-Eleven store and the kids wanted Slurpees and like, can we have Slurpees? And I was like, yeah, you can have Slurpees. And Andy had told me a couple days ahead of time that one of the kids had like this malfunction with the Slurpee machine, got Slurpee everywhere. And I was like, okay, I'm going to take charge here. I'm like, let me do the first Slurpee. So of course I don't put the lid on, which is essential for putting the Slurpees together. And I just went, turn that thing, and it was like whoosh, and it was like Slurpee everywhere. And this like super mom was right behind me, aghast at the moronic display of motherhood in front of her. And by the time I left the store, because I had done that a couple more times before we left, me and the children, I looked at her and I was like, hey, I'm just the stepmom. So I just get to buy the candy and do the fun stuff just to like make amends to this woman that she had to wait 20 minutes behind me and that she was horrified at how inept I was.
And then what'd she do?
She just laughed.
No, then she put the thing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, right. And then she just showed me. She's like, yeah, you got to put the lid first. And she had these beautiful Slurpees. I mean, they were multicolored and they were swirled. And I was just like, wow, you're like a professional mommy. And she smiled and giggled. So, yeah, that was my day at 7-Eleven.
I did the picture. I just picture you with Slurpee like dripping off your nose and off your hair and going.
It's all new. It's all new. I can't help it. I do the best I can.
I do wonder, though, why, knowing that children are going to be using that thing, why they make it so difficult.
And why they make it like a blast.
I know. Isn't there a way of having like it just come out like it's just like a little turn? Like,
and I got to tell you,
send men to the moon.
I forgot the one detail. Your one son, being very disciplined and intelligent, Rhett, was like, he was going really slow. So then I was like, but honey, you're just getting liquid. It wasn't doing the foam. That's when I took over. Oh. I was like, we got to go faster. And he just kind of stood back. And that's when I went Slurpee everywhere. And he laughed his head off. He's like, yeah, that's exactly what we were trying to avoid.
See, those are the moments I'm talking about. Pure joy.
Yes, it was. I had a blast. And the two guys were so stoned that worked there. They're like, yeah, lady, don't worry about it, man. It happens all the time. I was like, okay, right on. Thanks.
Is that how they sounded?
Yeah, they were really like, it was at that that pace too.
I've seen those guys. That's not how they talk.
Really?
No.
No, I'm
not going to do it.
That's my impersonation.
That's good.
The tall guy?
Yeah.
Kind of lanky?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. We finally got a comment. Oh, hello.
Hello, I was never alive. Okay, see, now you're going to trigger in me this whole like sexual identity, sexual orientation discussion. We're neither gender. We're not even people. Sometimes we're animals. Now we get to choose whether we're alive or not. Is that part of the new like woke culture?
Well, it is from Twitch, but I'm sure they're a fine human being. But you never know. Hey, Bev, nice to see you. Nice to see you. All right, let's see. I want to take one more thing from here, and I forgot what it was. Hold on. Let me just look through here. What? There was something I had a question about. Now I got to find the darn thing. The first thing was
willing to let go before we can grasp something else.
Yeah, the first thing we must surrender is all our pretense and deceit. I think that is the one that kind of catches me there. The first one is that we have to surrender all our pretense.
Pretense meaning like all the things we think should happen or the way they should happen. Okay. And deceit is the things we say to fool ourselves.
Oh,
like all the nonsense.
It would help if I understand English when I'm doing this. I got, yeah.
Okay. Oswald sometimes uses complicated
So the first
words.
we must surrender is all of the, now use the other words.
Nonsense.
Things
we make up. The pretense is the assumptions that we make about the way things should go. And deceit are the things we lie about the way they should go. But Jesus, okay. Why would you give me this assignment? I'm so much better at the other one. Right. You know, like as if we could trick him into giving us a different assignment that may be easier for us, or what we think is good. Or, well, you know what? You can't give me this kind of test or put this purpose on me unless I have this, and this criteria met. Those are the pretenses, the things that we say need to happen.
And then the next couple lines is what our Lord wants us to present to him is not our goodness, honesty, or our efforts to do better, but real solid sin.
Just being a broken.
Accepting the fact that we are sinful.
Exactly. That we are capable of nothing. And that's why, and that's another thing about him giving us a ministry of something so difficult. Like for you saying reading and espousing on the Bible and things like that. You're like, what of all things? Like, why is the Lord giving me this ministry? It's the same thing, is that we have to go to him completely inept, like just absolutely incapable, so that he gets all the glory for everything that comes of it.
That is so hard because I feel so capable. Like, I fool myself.
Yeah.
I fool myself with I could handle I can go from 5 employees to 500 and 5 police cars and 20 bicycles and 3 police dogs.
Piece of cake.
Come on. No, I couldn't. So the answer is, do you believe that death is the cure?
The cure to what? To live as Christ. Do you guys
believe in God?
Yeah, of course. To live as Christ and to die as gain.
Well, yeah. And I believe I've heard this kind of discussion before, but the cure is, eventually that is the thing where we are like, hey, we're finally going to see Jesus Christ, but Amen. We can't, it can't be at our haste, at our hands, of being foolish.
God's timing.
But we also can't be fearful either. Right? We can't be walking around with 3 masks on and hiding and go. As we walked into an office today, the guy's hiding in his other office. You guys got a mask? Is that too bad? I go, bro. And then we said, we've already had it. We're like superhumans now.
Right?
We're not.
Meaning we do not transmit or receive.
Yeah. It goes, I haven't had it yet. I haven't had it. So sorry if you're watching. But yeah, so is that do you
death is the cure depends on the context that he means it at, but for us, we're citizens of heaven, so we're just passing through.
And there's a problem. I know that sometimes there's typos and using a little G, but I'm fairly inarticulate, and I still capitalize my G's and my H's when I talk about him or he.
I do too.
I know, but in this, I'm not sure if it's a boy.
He may not mean the God with the big G.
I know. That's what I'm. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So that's why. And you're willing. We love to have these discussions. I was never alive, so feel free to put some more context, and some content in there. See, I do know a few words. Between context and content. Yeah.
Come on.
Okay, so you cured those 2 things. Those things were a little bit kind of wonky for me to kind of understand what he was talking about there. So let me just read the last line, or last couple lines. And what he gives us in exchange for our sin is real solid righteousness. But we must surrender all pretense that we are anything and give up all our claims of even being worthy of God's consideration. So no matter what, we still should be at that point of we're just unworthy.
Right. And that's what walking with him will show you, because he'll make you walk a walk that you're totally inept at, just to prove to you that you're nothing.
Is that the important thing in remembering that it's not just a matter of being good that gets you in heaven? Like people will say, well, of course, I don't have to go to church every day. I don't have to,
good will never get you in heaven. That's actually part of the evangelism, the full hand of the gospel.
Do you think that's part of that reminder in that last part, is that it's just not about your goodness?
At all. None of us are good. Pastor Mark tells that all the time. He's like, if you think that this is an escape route, it is. Because we are incapable of saving ourselves. We cannot get to heaven based on our deeds. We're horrible, because a single sin cannot be admitted into heaven, because God is perfect and we are not. And so he cannot excuse even one sin. So all of us would be doomed. Heaven is salvation is a free gift that we did not earn or deserve.
So do you think hold on. Do you think you will be happy in heaven?
Amen. Absolutely.
Because everything's good.
Yes. No more tears.
No more
pain. No more sickness. No
more aging.
Yes. I'm going to be a beautiful and perfect 35.
No more crying on your husband's shoulder while he snores in the other ear.
Yes.
Right.
That's it.
I'm sorry. I didn't know.
It's okay.
If I would have known, I would have woke up.
No, it's okay.
I'm not one of those guys, there's this pastor who talks about, it's a longer story, but that, was it even the pastor? I forget what it was. I think it was Andy Andrews, where he talks about parents of a newborn child and the baby's crying and each one is pretending they're asleep and you're getting mad at, oh no, it's in one of my books. It's one of my business books. And you're both getting mad at the other one for not getting up. And you're the one who hears it and is not getting up. And it's just saying like, what? You're mad at them because you're hearing it and not getting up. You're doing the same thing. Exactly. And it's actually a really good analogy of like, listen, really step back and really look at what's happening here. You both can hear the baby. You just, neither one of you want to get your butts up to go change the diaper. And now you're mad at the other person for doing what you're doing.
Exactly.
Oh my God. It's a good analogy. All right. If I don't say so myself. Anything else? Did I miss anything on this devotion? We're sorry that we got the wrong date. I have no idea. And you're with me when we did it.
Yeah.
You called me out on this stuff like that. It was weird. But it's okay. We were able to bring this one to you without
hiccups, except the wrong title.
Yeah, we got the wrong title. We'll be bringing you the one that's titled now tomorrow.
Exactly.
At some point tomorrow.
And we're ready.
Yeah, we're all ready. We've all studied up. Now we got a whole day. We have 24 hours to get ready for it. And also tomorrow, I'm hoping we can pull this off tomorrow. I will be doing an update on the prostate cancer and the process of what we're going through to get there. And then eventually I'll be bringing you, hopefully, the doctor that will be doing the procedure, which is called HIFU.
Yes.
You got that without looking it up. HIFU. And we'll bring in you all the details about HIFU and why together Hetty and I chose that for my procedure and so on and so forth. But tomorrow with Hetty, what I want to talk about is her first meeting a guy who breaks the news. Hey, by the way, I got cancer.
That was after the 5 kids.
Are you okay?
Yes.
Did it just hit you? Everything just hit you just now?
Oh my God.
But then you jumped in, and this is the great that you jumped into action.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh my gosh. And so we'll have that discussion tomorrow. All right, my friends, we love you guys. I was never alive. What?
Wait, yeah, we did all those already.
I know, but I was never alive. Is that what it says?
Yeah.
I was never. Thank you for joining us. He, her, or it, or whatever. I'm not sure how you want to be addressed. These days, you never know. So, but thank you for joining. Bev, thanks for joining. And if you're watching the replay, make sure and comment, regardless if we're live or not. That always helps out in helping us get these broadcasts out a little bit further. And tomorrow we'll be on the right broadcast, on the right passage. Anything else?
That's it.
All right.
God bless.
We'll see you tomorrow, probably more than once. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.